Hey, what's up, everybody? Video 44 coming at you with another video. All right, so it's the day after the Lakers went down 3-1 to the Minnesota Timberwolves. Our Minnesota Timberwolves road experience has been about as bad as our regular season road experience. We just not a good road team. However, that equates to maybe there's good context to break down about injuries and scheduled losses based on rest or whatever. But at the end of the day, we've been a bad road team, and in the playoffs, we've been a bad road team. There's a lot of stuff being said about JJ Redick playing his starters the entire third and fourth quarter. It hasn't been done since stats have been recorded for that particular thing. I've made so many videos over the years, and one I made specifically about 2 weeks ago, maybe not even 2 weeks ago, about this exact same thing, about not thinking that just because the team has talented players, or thinking because you have a couple guys that are really, really talented, that they're going to be able, within that talent, to be able to just have all types of energy. Talent and energy are not something that go hand in hand. Conditioning and talent don't go hand in hand. And so I've seen people in the NBA betray this so many times, thinking that these players are mules, thinking that they're robots, that they can just go on forever. Just because they're really talented and you don't trust the other guys, that it's not necessary to put fresh legs on the floor because I trust this guy, they give me this offense, and I don't trust the other guy. It's like, all your trust is betraying you, friend. It ain't got nothing to do with whether or not a dude is tired, man. That ain't got nothing to do with the fact that these guys are all playing the highest level of basketball, and if they suck, they wouldn't be there. So you not trusting them don't do nothing for them, nor you. And this is what I have to say. Like, a lot of times these coaches think that the players suck. No, you suck. You suck because you're supposed to get the most out of these players that are good enough to be at the highest level of basketball. That's the reality of it. You suck because you can't get them to play their best basketball. And more so suck because you refuse to. Because they don't make the game easy for you and make your job safer if they make mistakes that they're prone to make while trying to carve out good play in the few opportunities that you feel safe in giving them. I'm tired of you coaches. I'm tired of all of y'all who do that. All of you who do that. I'm sick of it. I want the whole league rid of that mentality. It doesn't work at all. These teams suck because these coaches want to keep their jobs. This literally equates to that right there. If I play Jackson Hayes 10 minutes, he's going to suck, we're going to lose, and I know I'm going to get fired. That's how a lot of these dudes are thinking. Problem is, you're running Dorian Finney-Smith into the ground. And he ain't that much better in the grand scheme of things. You just know how to use him better based on your limitations and what it is that you're capable of doing as a coach. That's all that is. JJ Redick is a high-conditioned athlete. He probably felt many times that he could have played 48 minutes. I think that betrays him because he thinks other people who may be better than him can do the same thing when they're 40 years of age or coming off the stomach flu and already out of shape. No, JJ, that is not how that works. Your body can do that. Their bodies can't do that. Just like you can't do what they can do, they can't necessarily do what you can do in that way. I'm so sick of this crap, man. Year in and year out, my team sucks because of stupid stuff, man. And I'm not saying sucks isn't as bad as it can get, because obviously you got teams like the Wizards out there who really define what sucks is. But for me, I'm a champion, bro. I've watched my team, rooted for my team through 7 NBA championships in my 40 years of life. Okay, I didn't watch a whole lot of, it was too early in life for me to really go back further than that. There would be more championships if I was able to enjoy the Lakers in the 80s. But I didn't really start giving a damn about sports until I was about 8 or 9 years old. 9 years old is when I really started paying attention to the Lakers. So I missed Kareem, I missed Magic. I didn't see none of that. It would have been more championships being a fan of the Lakers. The problem I have with the Los Angeles Lakers today is they don't really know how to get back to that glory. They're doing the wrong things trying to make up for that. And it's little things that they don't find themselves very good at. The big things, yeah, we can attract the star. We can find a way to make the controversial trade that somehow lands a star at half the price. Y'all figured out a way to do all of those great things, but you wasn't smart enough to leave us enough size to get through the first round when you had used my two-way roster spots on centers and you didn't think well enough to put them on this team when it mattered the most to have them. It's like that type of stuff, man, and it still trickles down to you losing, just like not having a superstar trickles down to you losing. Not having adequate screen setters and rebounders and shot blockers, it also can cater to you losing. And they're so scared of this guy not re-signing with the Lakers that they're putting him in a position to be embarrassed. The irony. They're scared of Luka leaving, but they put a team on the floor that can't win. So now, when it's time for him to consider whether or not he wants to be there, he's thinking about how he got kicked out of the playoffs. The first round. And see, that's the problem that I have with the Los Angeles Lakers right now. The first round. Second year in a row. LeBron James in year 21, year 22, getting bounced in the first round. Not because he's worn out, not because he's playing poorly, but because the stuff that we put together ain't good enough to get out of the round. Rookie coaches ain't no experience with the timeline being this sensitive. I like JJ as much as the next guy. But just like I always say, when you put a rookie coach in a situation that's win now, you're messing with the timeline. JJ's inexperience and his choices in these playoffs have catered to why we aren't down in this series. If we had an experienced coach that had an absolute clue of what the hell he was doing in the playoffs, we would still be around. And don't give me, we're still down 3-1. This series is over. You're letting a killer like Ant-Man have 3 chances of knocking you off when he's already knocked you off 3 times. And that's over with. You understand what I'm saying to you? He's already beaten you 3 times. Now he gets 3 more tries to eliminate you. He's going to eliminate you. This is reality, man. I've been watching basketball, what now? 31 years? This is what this is, basically? Nah, fam. You don't get to do what we did. Fart around in game 1. Score under 100 points in like 3 out of 4 games. Now, you don't get to do that and win the series. I'm sorry, Laker fans. This shit is over. It's over, fam. Somebody just got to be raw and real with you, man. Their team is bigger, faster, stronger, and smarter. Smarter. They know one another better. And they are taking advantage of you. And they're doing it with ease. They got the mental edge, and your team is tired. Coach don't trust half the damn team. This season is a wash. I'm telling you, it's over. See, I need to go ahead and let it go. Let it go. And look, I can tell you this as well. As a Laker fan, I don't know what's going to happen with LeBron James' tenure with the Lakers. I don't think that he would be wise continuing to stay on this team. I really don't. I don't think it's in his best interest to keep on this team, man. Because at the end of the day, if I'm being completely honest with you, his time is getting wasted, man. His time is getting wasted. He's wasting his time on this roster. This roster ain't doing what it needed to do. And granted, I'm not mad at him. I ain't mad at the man at all. He's doing what he got to do. Playing in Los Angeles, his son is here. He found a way to use his leverage to assure that his son has an opportunity in the NBA. So leaving the Lakers with that going on is probably not something he's inclined to do based on money and all this, that, and the third. But look, man, I'm going to tell y'all the truth, man. And when I looked at Dame Lillard, prayers out to Dame Lillard who busted his Achilles yesterday. When I look at Dame Lillard, he's another cautionary tale. For these athletes who are really, really talented, who truly want to win, but choose things outside of winning as priorities for their careers. He is another example of that. He chose the money. Just like Carmelo Anthony, he chose the money over winning, and they're not going to win. That's what Dame did. He kept signing the contracts with a bad franchise in a financial cap hole that could not literally put the team around him. He chose to keep taking their money because he valued money over opportunities to being successful. Every time. He called it loyalty, but it wasn't loyalty, it was money. They were continuing to throw massive amounts of cap at him, Portland was, to carry them through what would otherwise be them being bad for nothing. He allowed himself to be their guinea pig for money. Somebody who was going to put booties in seats and ultimately be talented enough to get them so far, but not far enough. He knew he was going to lose. And he signed up for that in his prime just so he can get his cash. And now when it's time for his, for his career to wind down, he's somewhere he don't want to be. Running into the injuries that come naturally when you're older, when you've been running to the ground by a bad team for 12 years. And he's not able to stay upright anymore. He's not able to stay upright anymore. I would feel sorry for him, but he got what he wanted. He wanted his money. If he wanted to win, he would have found himself in opportunities that were involving winning. He could have won anywhere in the league. If he was willing to prioritize winning over money, he'd be fine. And so I look at LeBron James right now and I say, man, you're in the same position. Obviously, you've done a lot of winning already. But right now, the question is, are you going to choose all this Lakers la-la land stuff over winning? Because the Lakers ain't going nowhere, bro. If I'm being completely honest with you, they ain't going nowhere. Why they ain't going nowhere? Because they ain't got a damn clue as to how to get there. And we watch them make mistakes over and over and over and over and over again, bro, with your tenure. Disrespecting your tenure by doing weird stuff that was ill-advised, bringing in rookie coaches, giving guys player options that were role players that probably wouldn't even belong anywhere else in the league, foregoing leverage. I mean, look, the Luka trade was amazing. But you have to wonder if Luka sees himself staying with the Lakers. Because at the end of the day, the fit is funny. And these people ain't proven they can build properly around LeBron James. So you have to wonder if he's wondering if they can build around him. We're getting bounced in the first round, second year in a row. With only one pick to show for our problems. In hopes that he resigns. If he don't resign, we're in the dumps for real. It's like that's why I wonder if I'm LeBron James, if I'm intentional on winning, why would I choose this organization going forward? I'm just being honest with y'all. I mean, they ain't reasonable enough to even give me the backups I need. Anthony Davis was here for 6 years and we couldn't get him a legitimate backup. Like, you think people aren't paying attention to this stuff from the outside looking in, man? That's what I'm asking the Laker organization. You think people ain't watching? You think Luka don't have a clue at what's been going on over here? Everybody know what's going on with the Lakers. They ain't put a legitimate center on this team. They done made every opportunity for themselves to have less than enough in most situations. And yet, and still, we find ourselves hopeful that they're going to do it because we're able to make a trade for Luka to Don, of whom we hope will resign. It's just getting bounced in the first round again, man, with a rookie coach, inexperienced coach, making bad decisions, and a roster, half of which can't even be utilized in most situations. That's why he didn't want to use any people in the last 24 minutes of the game yesterday. Because most of these dudes shouldn't even be in the league, and you know it. We got about 6 or 7 players that you feel comfortable with on the basketball floor in a given moment. Other than that, we are wasting roster spots on people that are not good enough to actually help us. And we know it. And we can listen to media, and we can listen to everybody. You can listen to homers like myself tell you how great the Lakers are, but at the end of the damn day, half of this roster doesn't belong in the league. That's why you're getting bounced in the first round. Half of this roster ain't tall enough to rebound over me. That's why you're getting bounced in the first round. And we keep betraying, we keep getting beat with this small ball mentality as a franchise. We keep getting our ass whooped. We have 17 NBA championships. I would say all of them, literally all of them, allowed for us to have a Hall of Fame center in place. Was there any point in time where the Lakers won a championship without a Hall of Fame center? Or a Hall of Fame big? I just want to ask anybody, have we ever won a championship without a big? But yet, over the course of the last 7 years or so, we've decided we wanted to be small. We ain't never won nothing being small. We've never won anything being small, Lakers. Small ball is not how we got domination over the entire league for the last 50 years. And you tell me you're trying to get back to where you were, but you don't understand what the hell got you there. You've done everything but put a damn center on this damn team. We're going into the playoffs with Jackson Hayes and Alex Len as our only centers in the playoffs and think we're getting out of the first round. That was never realistic. I was delusional, and everybody who was going with the Lakers was damn delusional. And as I mentioned in regards to the Detroit Pistons New York series, I didn't want to go with the Detroit Pistons because I thought the refs would kill the Pistons in the playoffs, which they did yesterday. We saw that, you know, that play down the stretch of that game yesterday. He was fouled. Tim Hardaway was fouled. We know that. My initial concern is what I betrayed because I looked at the rosters and I saw that the Detroit Pistons potentially had more depth and could potentially be throwing a lot at a team like New York, who does what we did, running only like 6 players most of the year. That's why I picked Detroit to win the series. My initial thought was that the refs were going to cheat them, and they did. I still think the Detroit Pistons are likely the more capable basketball team from top to bottom. Problem was, the way I was looking at that series is the way I needed to be looking at my own series. My Lakers were the fluff. They were who I was saying the New York Knicks are in most people's eyes. A shallow team that's pushing all of this stuff to the front, who likely ain't gonna have enough if their best player ain't up to par, for which going into the series, I said Jalen Brunson was not. That was us. The way I was viewing the New York Knicks is how I should have been viewing the Lakers. That's us. We are the team that people are picking with the big market and the prestige over the team with the actual better players and the more capable players on the talent on the roster. The top heavy team with nobody on the back of the bench that can actually give your guys a breather, and the coach that ain't gonna play those guys even if he thought they were any good, for the sake of shrinking his bench traditionally like a lot of coaches do. That was us. I wish I could go back in the past where I was making that video and saying, nope, that same thought applied to the Lakers. Your initial thought with the Knicks is exactly how that's going to go. The Knicks are going to win the series because the NBA is going to want the Knicks to be in the playoffs. And the referees are going to screw the Detroit Pistons, just like your initial thought told you. But the Lakers are the team that nobody should be picking because of, if you look at both rosters, you can clearly see more. The faster, stronger, bigger players are on the Timberwolves. The team that's been winning more over the course of the last 2 months is the Timberwolves. They're the team that, if you look at the numbers and ignore the names on the jerseys, the front of the jersey, if you ignore the colors and the prestige of the teams that played before, for which the Timberwolves are a fairly new team and the Lakers been around for a million years winning championships, you will see that if you just take those two teams and put them on the floor together, the Timberwolves have more. I wish I would have told myself that. I wish I would have thought that. I'd sound a lot smarter right now. We're fluff, y'all. You got Luka Doncic at the top. You got LeBron James right next to him. You got Austin Reeves, who's a decorated young player who still has a lot to prove. After that, the rest of that roster is not very good. It's not very good. It's not complete. It wasn't built to be a playoff team or none of that. It's not. It's just a team that made a trade halfway through the season for a great player that right now does not fit on the roster because the other two guys that are his next best players are basically him. Austin Reeves and LeBron James and Luka Doncic, pretty much the same damn player. And you're missing a lot of other stuff that makes them good, makes them great. Luka the Don needs his lob threat. The best one you got is Jackson Hayes. He's not good. You need on-ball defenders. You need, believe it or not, you need Max Christie. That's what you need. You need Max Christie. But you traded him away in the Luka trade, which nobody's going to complain about. But that's actually what you're missing in the series. Somebody strong enough and fast enough to stay in front of Anthony Edwards, to at least give you guys a spell so you don't have Luka and Rui standing in front of Anthony Edwards, getting cooked and getting dropped to the ground, touching earth. That's Max Christie's role. And as I said many times, when we made that trade, I felt like that trade had a little bit of a poison pill in it for our short-term success, because they knew if they removed Max Christie from our roster, we probably wasn't going to win nothing. Fast forward to where we are today, I think it had a great deal to do with why we weren't able to stay in front of Ant yesterday. It's because we didn't have Max Christie to track him all over the court. He was our only good point of attack on-ball defender. I ain't saying he's stopping Ant, but Ant ain't going for no 43 on Max. Not the way he did on Austin and Rui. And he puts a little pressure on him, potentially, offensively. Maybe draw a foul or two more than extra than what we've been able to. Lakers ain't doing it, man. They're not getting it done, bro. They're not getting it done. And the reason why is because they don't respect size. They don't respect speed and athleticism. They thought players who were in worse conditioning were going to be able to play better just because they get talented. No. No, friend. That's not how that works. They're going to be able to play better even though they're not in good shape? No. It's going to hurt you on the back end, because even though they're talented, now they're exhausted. So their liability's on the defensive end. I've never met a man, whether he's talented or not, doing anything physical, that after 40 hours of puking his face off all day long, was going to be able to play more minutes than he normally would in whatever it is he was doing physically. I've never met a man who could do that. I guess Luka the Don, according to JJ Redick, is supposed to be the first. But puking his head off throughout the game, throughout the morning of the day, with stomach poisoning, food poisoning rather, and less than 40 hours later, you put him on the floor and don't take him off of it, basically, and expect for him to be his best just because he's talented. Like, that is just like not real, JJ. That's not real, bro. That's living in fantasy land. That's delusion land, la la land. That's not real, brother. I hate to say it, but JJ, for all of the talent that he has as an intelligent person, he let delusions and hypotheticals drive his decision making, and that was poor. Hypothetically, I can't trust Jordan Goodwin. Reality was, if you saw what Jordan was doing these last two games when you did put him on the floor, he was probably one of the best players for the situation that you had going on. Your best bet was to muck the series up, as we talked about. The only game we won is when the Minnesota Timberwolves couldn't score. You needed somebody who's going to be a disruptor on the floor. Hypothetically, in delusional la-la land, in JJ's imagination, he can't trust Jordan Goodwin in these situations. When he put Jordan on the floor, if he used his eyes, he could see that Jordan Goodwin was the best player for that situation. Making decisions based on ideas as opposed to what your eyes are telling you. It's the same problem I had to a different degree with Darvin Ham. We talked about this against a matchup against the Philadelphia 76ers about a year and a half ago. I still remember it to this second. Because the Philadelphia 76ers had a certain type of personnel, he went in thinking he needed to defend them a certain way. They have Joel Embiid at the time healthy. So, of course, because they have a big, we got to clog the paint, because the big is going to kill us in the paint with easy buckets. The reality was, if he would have did a little homework on the Philadelphia 76ers that week, he would have seen that they were basically shooting the ball from behind the arc at an all-time clip for their franchise. No other week, and I'm just saying this off the top of my head, I don't really have the numbers, but at no other week or any other point in Joel's tenure had they been shooting more threes at that volume than they were that week when we were going into their building. We got blown out by 44 points because he put the wrong defensive scheme on the floor because of what he thought was on the floor based on personnel and not on the data that was actually available. Not looking at what they had been doing, but thinking about what they had and operating that way. This is similar to what JJ did. Similar. As it pertains to how he used his roster, I can't use this guy. I don't trust him in these situations. But when you put him on the floor in that situation, he played well. Yeah, but overall, I don't trust him in the situations. This is not about an overall. This is about what the hell's going on. If somebody's throwing something at me, I need to duck. I don't need to be thinking about, well, if I do a flip backwards and it spin around, and maybe I can have it ricochet off my ear and send back at him, and if I do it just right, it might hit him in the head. No, I just need to duck because something's flying at me. I don't need to be thinking about all extra overthinking or delusions of, last time something hit me, After it did, I went home and had the best meal I ever had in my life. So maybe if I don't duck and it hits me, my meal will be great this time. Like that type of delusion and a type of weird, mental acrobats that people play when they're under pressure is always what gets them in trouble. The only thing your ass need to be doing is paying attention to exactly what's happening in front of you and reacting to that. That's literally it, bro. Don't tell me you can't trust Jordan Goodwin and you trust Gabe Vincent when Jordan Goodwin's been out playing Gabe Vincent the whole time that you've been trusting him. Don't tell me that you don't trust Jemison when the majority of the time you put Jemison on the floor, you were winning. And all the games we were using Jemison, we were winning. But the minutes he had on the floor, he was a plus in most of those minutes. But hypothetically, he's supposed to be a scrub, and he played the G League, so when it comes playoff time, I can't trust him because he's going to mess up. But your team can't literally play better without him. You're a better team with him on the floor. The numbers are telling you you're a better team with him on the floor. Your eye test is telling you that he sets screens and does the things that other guys don't do, so he's an ingredient that you need. And you don't have a better option because the other centers you have are garbage. You need Trey Jemison more than any other team would need Trey Jemison because you have worse players in his position, which is rare, extremely rare. But I can't trust him because he's not very good. So what I'm going to do is run small ball out there. I'm putting all of my shortest people on the floor against Rudy Gobert, Naz Reid, and Julius Randle, because when you zoom out, these players are just better, and so I trust them more. But your eyes are telling you something different, Jake. That's not what's there to see, brother. There's something else that you need to be paying attention to because that's what's in front of you, not what you think is hypothetical and all of this other stuff. Hypotheticals and things that would make sense in theory. You don't need theory. You have data. Data is showing you what the truth is. You don't need theory. There's data. There's evidence here. Like it's really just people believing in things that are not in front of them. Believe in things that are not in front of them. That's not what's in front of you. What's happening in front of you? And that's where I think JJ really hurt us and hurt himself. As a rookie coach under pressure, he's going with crap he believed in instead of what he saw. He didn't believe his lying eyes. He believed the propaganda that was told to him. That type of thing. Well, if I put this guy in this situation based on what the coach used to tell me back in 2008, we are going to likely suck because we need to shrink our bench. This is what coaches do. No, that's what coaches do when they don't have a creative thought in their head about what they should do instead. They follow other people down paths that may have worked for them. When you know how to create for yourself, you're not sitting here saying, what did the other person do that may have worked for them? What is coming at me, and how can I create something that's going to make it so that I can overcome what's coming at me? Not thinking about what the other guy may have did that kind of worked 50% of the time, and because everybody else does it, it's just what we do, even though the numbers tell you probably shouldn't do it at all. Because that's what the NBA is about. That follow stuff. Golden State Warriors shoot a lot of threes. We're going to shoot a lot of threes. You don't have Steph Curry. You don't have Klay Thompson. No, we saw it work, so we're going to see it work. Nah, you don't have the personnel for that. They did small ball, so we're going to do small ball. Your small ball players are no good. But that's what the Golden State did, so we're going to do it. It works. That's how we do it. It's like that type of stuff, man. I tell you, it hurts you every time. It hurts you every time. Having a lack of creativity, overthinking, and following others will get you beat in this league. Every single time. Your strategy needs to be able to react to the creativity of the best talent on the floor and to match up with the size that's on the floor. That's what you need to be able to do. So if you're following somebody else down a path of hypotheticals, paying attention to what's on the roster and not what the roster's been doing, which is why we always go over the last 5 games, each and every opponent we face before the basketball game. That's why we do recent data studies, because we want to understand what's actually coming at us, not what could be hypothetically coming if we follow this way, because that's what they have, so they may use it that way. They ain't going to use it that way. The data going to tell you what they've been doing. You look at that, that's what they've been doing. This is what ended up getting people in trouble. Well, because they got this player, obviously what they can do with that player if they utilize his strengths is just spam this particular thing. Well, but that ain't what they've been doing. They done ran into a bunch of opponents who understood that. That's why they want to be unpredictable. They've switched their game up to be less predictable. They know what they need to do when they're doing that. So if you go at them, throwing at them the same thing, then their adjustments to what it is that they've adjusted away from is going to work right into their favor against you because you're doing what it is that they expected. If that type of data is only there if you pay attention to what just took place. That type of data is the most telling data, in my opinion, of what it is you can expect to see. Because it's what they just did. Or you know by what it is they just did, what they need to correct, so you can anticipate the correction. Case in point example, Game 3. The Minnesota Timberwolves, with all of their capable rebounders, tied in rebounding with us in Game 3, 38 apiece. So one couldn't take an educated guess that they were going to kind of try to correct that in Game 4. And they did. They ended up out-rebounding us by 7 boards. These are the type of things that's like your recent data will give you the best educational guess as to what it is that you're going to see. It'll show you what the team did that worked, that they may want to try to do again. It can show you what it is that didn't work. And if they're an intelligent enough group there, they're going to try to correct it so you can anticipate that correction. Like this is like, and that's the problem, man. People aren't doing enough thinking under pressure, man. They're doing too much worrying under pressure instead of strategizing under pressure. Your best defense is your strategy and your common sense. Your worst defense is your fear. It's your worst defense in a lot of cases, particularly when it comes to trying to be in competitive sports. Hypothetical nonsense. Well, Anthony Edwards doesn't make good plays, so we can scheme him to being a passer and he ain't gonna pick us apart. Well, he's been correcting that lately. He's a better decision maker now, so if you're gonna scheme that way, you're gonna play right into his hands because he's been working on his playmaking all year.
But on the other side,
See what I'm saying? He's been working on his playmaking all year. So if you are playing him like he used to people trying him, he's been studying himself and what he did wrong in those situations. He's gonna pick you apart. Now, if you would have been anticipating that, you could have schemed him away from the pass, make him score 70 on you to win, shut down everybody else around him, and he scored 85 points as a team. With him trying to attempt like 40 shots. Give you the best opportunity to outscore him. But if you're scheming in a way that he's already corrected, then obviously you play into his hands and he ends up does that dance on you. In the games they've won, he's had 6 assists, and 8 assists. In the game they lost, he had no assists. Don't you think we would try to make it so that he wouldn't assist? Luka the Don, same thing. In the games we lost, Luka ain't getting a whole lot of assists. You turn that fantastic playmaker into somebody who can only look to score. And in these situations, it's worked for the teams that done that. What did Luka have? 1 assist yesterday? 38 points? 1 assist, 2 boards? They shut down all that other meat and potato stuff that he does that makes his team better. And they turn him into a shot maker. They isolated those points and then outscored him on the other end, and they were able to get the victory. It's very simple stuff. You got casuals out here saying Luka had a great game. Luka had a bad game, man. He had a good shooting night, but the things that make it so that his team is winning, he didn't do. When we're winning, Luka's usually getting about 7 assists, about 9, 10 boards. That's what he needs to be responsible for, because shots can either fall or not. But those are the things that are going to make his team better, his teammates better. If you're not doing those things and you're playing ISO ball, and you get your ass kicked. He ain't the only player where that's the case. There's a lot of players out there. If you turn them into only scorers and they're known for making assists happen, their team ain't going to be as good. Got a bunch of people around them standing around waiting for them to finish shooting. It's a problem that I had with our late, great Kobe Bryant. He didn't utilize the pass enough. Throughout the course of the meat and potatoes of his career, he would shoot over 4 defenders instead of trusting a guy like Rick Fox. Get him the damn ball. Use the assist as a means, as a weapon to open up your scoring. People like LeBron James figured that out. Guys like Steve Nash, they figured that out. Yeah, they could score 38 points, but it was much more important that they get 10 assists. Why? Because it opened up the spacing for them to do so. It got the defense off their backside, and Anthony Edwards figured that out too. So you can bet over the next 3 years, you're going to see him get more and more triple-doubles. Why? Because he understands that when he wants to lose, he can hoist a million shots and not get any assists. Or he could take advantage of the fact that these teams still think he's going to be that type of stupid, make the right plays in the assist category, and his teammates are better for it, his continuity on the offense is better for it, and his shots come easier. You think J.J. Redick would try to scheme it so that Luka the Dom never find himself with only 1 assist? No, he keeps putting the ball in his hands because, hypothetically, Luka the Dom is the best player on our team, and we need to make sure that he gets the ball as many times as he can, and he can hoist as many shots as he can, because when he does, we are scoring, and all types of other very small-minded stupidity that cater to us losing. Just put the ball in his hands, get out the way. No, hell no. That's not real. He's better than Julius Randle, so we can switch off and have him be guarded by Julius, and he'll cook Julius. No, Julius is faster, stronger, and big enough to deal with him. No, you don't. Even though Julius ain't the greatest defender, you don't want Luka the Don being chased around by Julius Randle, because Julius Randle's in better shape than him, and he's bigger than him. He's strong enough to do so. It's common sense. You don't hunt out opportunities for Luka to be guarded by Julius. Julius the one person that could guard him. I could argue they made the trade for Julius for this exact person. For this exact reason. That's why they were willing to do it. Like, I just saw so much panic stupidity from my Los Angeles Lakers, bro. Just panic stupidity. People under pressure, scared they're going to lose, coercing themselves toward losses. That's what I saw. Stuff that they wouldn't do in the regular season against these same teams, but because the pressure's on the line, they ain't handling pressure well. That's all it is to me. That's what I see. From a schematic standpoint, people just, I'm scared. I can't trust these players. And so you end up doing things that make it worse for everybody. I can't trust Vando. You can't trust Vando. No, it's that you don't trust yourself in utilizing Vando. Vando's been Vando the whole time. Many of your coaches trusted Vando and got good stuff out of him, but you don't trust Vando? Treating Vando like he's a scrub? I can understand doing that with a rookie Dalton Connect that can't defend because he's a rookie. I can understand doing that with Jackson Hayes because he's Jackson Hayes. But Vanderbilt, one of the best on-ball defenders in basketball, going up against one of the best one-on-one players in basketball, and you don't trust him? No, fool, you don't trust you. And that's exactly how I've been wording it on this channel. I don't think JJ doesn't trust Vanderbilt. He doesn't trust himself. Because he don't think he can get nothing out of Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt is Vanderbilt. You leave him alone, and the ball ends up in his hands somehow. Somehow, it ends up in his hands. Just leave him alone. Don't pass him the rock. Don't even look at him on offense. Accept the losses that come with that, and he'll do good things. Just like we said. We'll go back and listen to some of these conversations we had leading up to this, talking about the Lakers going up against the Minnesota Timberwolves. A lot of the stuff that we did that I was concerned, I think we've ultimately seen us do, man. Things that I thought worked against us, we did all them things, man. And people didn't handle pressure on the court very well either. Poise, man. Poise is what this team was lacking. Fumbling off of their foot, throwing cross-court passes easily picked off, fouling guys that they can't block their shot, and ones and stuff like that, giving up so many and ones in the last 2 games. Just a lack of poise. Stupid stuff that you wouldn't do in the regular season when the pressure ain't as high. That's what I saw people messing up on yesterday and on Friday. That's exactly what I saw. 2 straight games of this team just literally being scared. That's what I saw. Scared. Scared. Fear leading to unnecessary errors. Uncharacteristic errors. Guys losing their composure. Not in the form of fighting anybody, but just their strategy falling apart. Abandoning things that worked because the pressure was on. You got a good strategy, you got good offensive plays, but you don't run any of them down the stretch of the basketball game. Composure, lost. That's what I saw. A lack of composure. People just under pressure, not making good decisions. And that's going to be the tail of this unit. And it just didn't keep their composure. All the principles that they had defensively throughout the course of the season before the injuries hit, the second half of the season when we were playing really good defense, we haven't seen none of those principles, but these are the same individuals. How could they be so good defensively at those times, but so awful defensively in this series? Well, I can tell you what it is. They didn't do none of those things. I can tell you exactly what it is. They had a lot more confidence in that era. That front-running crap that we talked about with this unit, yeah, we didn't get rid of that just because we moved a few players. That's still the DNA of this roster, apparently. Still front-runners. Oh, man, this is just Minnesota Timberwolves. They ain't done nothing historically. Even though they were in the Western Conference Finals last year, we ain't really think about that because they moved Karl Anthony Towns, so they ain't, Jaden McDaniels can't really score. Rudy Gobert ain't going to score. Ant-Man don't make good decisions passing the rock. All he going to do is shoot. So we can just go in and kind of get a feel for him in the first game, win or lose, and then we'll take care of games, and then we'll go game 2, and then we'll go on in Minnesota, probably get 2 games, and we'll win the series. Like, that's the type of thinking these idiots had going into the series, man. I'm telling you. They didn't even play hard in the first game. They didn't play hard. Like, literally did not play hard. Well, we can just... Like, we got Austin Reeves, Luka Doncic, and LeBron James. We just gonna tear this team apart. And you got a half a roster that you don't even feel comfortable putting on the floor. And you're undersized. You don't have point-of-attack defensive players that you can trust. And your matchups leave you without being taller than the areas where you need to be very tall. The center position. You're shorter than that. So you're leaking at the point of attack and you're leaking at the rim protection. 2 of your most important defensive positions you're leaking at. Meanwhile, they're a good defensive team. So they can keep you under your average, which means if you can't find a way to score on their good defense, and you can't find a way to defend them without the things that you need to defend them, then you're going to be in trouble. These activities, in that regard, play against you. You should have seen that on paper. Coupled with the fact that they've been playing great ball, they've been playing with their back against the wall all season to the point where they couldn't even rest anybody down the stretch of the season because they were fighting to stay out of the play-in tournament. They've been fighting at playoff level for about a month now with all of these different strengths that they have against your unit. They're also battle-tested because they've been having their back against the wall for about 6 weeks. And you thought, with all of that information, that you could start a series feeling them out, not playing hard? Or did you not have that information? Because it was there for you. I had that information going into the series. I did the homework. Were we doing the homework or were we too busy preparing for a hypothetical long playoff run where Luka and LeBron just going to carry us no matter what the outcome? Like, man, fluff, yo. This is what we were talking about. Fluff. I just had the wrong teams attached to it. It wasn't the Knicks in Detroit. It was the Lakers in Minnesota. Fluff. Thinking that things were going to work out just because you had certain personnel. Even if the rest of the personnel wasn't any good. You thought it was going to work out because you had the right personnel, right? But I don't think so, man. At the end of the day, we clearly see it didn't work out. It wasn't going to work out because you were able to be attacked in the areas where you're most weak. And your best attack was areas you were also weak against this unit. And then furthermore, your attitude was that you could beat this team no matter what. Right? You talk about everything that works against you, that's what the Lakers did. Everything. Every damn thing that worked against them going into this series. All of it. The worst mentality, not having a better roster, thinking they were better. All of that. Thinking home court advantage is going to save them. All that. Every possible mental aspect of not being prepared, it seemed like we were. Every possible way of looking at this thing wrong, we applied. A bigger team with Rudy Gobert and Julius Randle? Oh, man, we don't need these centers that we picked up. Nah, we don't need them. They ain't going to use them anyway. We could just run Dorian Finney-Smith at the 5. I wonder why you down 3-1. And I told y'all, as soon as the Lakers went through the regular season and didn't have Koloko or Jemison, I told y'all we were in trouble. I said it before. Any games we played in these playoffs, we were in trouble. Because these people underestimated the importance of having centers, rim protection, and bigs on their team. After literally going through hoops to find those players, when it came down to it and they need them the most, they betrayed all of that, forgot all of the pressure that we've been putting on them for the last 6 years to have these centers, and went into the playoffs without them centers. It's overwhelming, the level of stupidity that went into that decision. There's people talking about, oh, tomorrow's roster is going to be affected by what we do today, so we better not do nothing today that's going to affect tomorrow. But tomorrow, LeBron James may not be at this level because he's 40 years old. So your best opportunity to get a championship with LeBron and Luka is right now. So everything that you need to be prioritizing is right now, based on that understanding. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of this organization doing things the wrong way, celebrating themselves and then losing in them games. All of this different stuff I've been seeing in Jeannie Buss's era. At this point, I'm tired of, man. I got to a point where now we go through another lost season where we're getting bounced in the first round by a team that we probably if we just did some things better as an organization, wouldn't have as much trouble with. Probably if we would have just been a bit more prepared as a veteran basketball team, probably would have been fine. Probably if we had a coach in place that literally didn't just start his coaching career with us, we'd probably been fine. So many stupid, fluff, hypothetical, fear-driven decisions. Over and over again with this organization, yo. Over and over again. I'm telling y'all, man, I'm fed up. So you want to tell me the Lakers can win on Wednesday? Got some rest now? Fine. Go out there, give it your all. I will be watching. I'll be rooting for you. But I do believe that us going home is imminent because of these same decisions. If we somehow come back from a 3-1 deficit to beat the Minnesota Timberwolves, we'll probably get ousted in the next round because these same problems are going to chase you around. That's what it really comes down to. These same stupid decisions are still going to be in place, eating away at your capabilities. Gina, you got to get some people in there that know what they're doing. I'm just going to be honest with you. We need to start really listening to the critics who are telling us what we're doing wrong and start fixing some of these issues. Honestly, not everybody's out to just be mean. Some of these people really are seeing problems, and these things need to be addressed. We really do need a president in place over basketball operations. We need that. We need that. Okay? We need that. We've been talking about this. It's the second year in a row where we're going out in the first round. We need a president of basketball operations. You're asking your GM to do that, and you're asking too much of him. Okay? He made enough mistakes coming in as a rookie, just like the last 3 coaches we had. He needs somebody who knows what they're doing above him. And until you get that in place, you're going to always cap off some of your decision makings as an organization. I'm just being honest with you. If you can hire a guy to be a president, I think your organization will benefit from it greatly. As long as you're asking Rob Pelinka and the same people who've been making these decisions behind the round table or your organization for the last 7 years to continue making decisions, you're going to keep on getting the same damn results. And LeBron ain't going to be around to make it look like it's competent. The Ramby and all that, listen to me. You need a president who knows what the hell he's doing. That's the bottom line. Old boy from ESPN, the one who used to do Golden State, I can't think of his name right now. You probably want to feel the call to him and hire him. Like, seriously. Be the president. Someone above Rob Pelinka's head. We're going to have a bigger picture in mind who already knows what excellence is about. You need that person. I cannot stress this enough. We can talk about all these different things, this, that, and the third. This is where those things truly find their solution. BDL 44. I thank you all for watching. I'm out.